How you doing, guys? Welcome back to Invested Intelligence. Today we're going to be discussing Bitcoin and Binance. Disparity between the two, we're starting to see some weakness in Binance and Bitcoin's holding up pretty well. So I'm going to go over the two. We're going to try to get a feel for what we could expect over the next 2 to 3 days. There is a lot of news coming out this week, so just be mindful of that, rate announcement and so on. So if we look at Bitcoin, really strong week last week, stabilizing this week. Not a great deal going on, which is expected, obviously. News, rate announcement, Fed, press conferences, all of this stuff. Markets generally tend to slow down going into, or close to some of these numbers releases and some of these press conferences. So the market kind of waits, sees what Powell says, see what the Fed say, and then they react accordingly. Whereas with Binance has already started to show signs of weakness this week. We were around about 345, 346, and now we're currently down around about 324, 325. And I'm not saying that this is going to continue, but it could very well be the first signs, of the cryptocurrency market starting to slow down a little bit. And we can see here, if I just bring this up a little bit, you can see here we had a really nice strong run, over the last week, and then obviously just starting to recede a bit. Now, one of two things is going to happen, and I'm not going to say three, i.e., up, down, or sideways, but we're going to go with either up or down. We're either going to get stability in this area, and then price is going to continue going up into the areas up here, 376, a little bit higher, or we're going to start to slowly recede and recede and recede. And the closer we get to this area down here, okay, which is effectively a quick stop run and then an impulse. The closer we get to this area down here, the more likely we are to either slow down and go sideways or just continue to bleed lower. For us to go higher, and it's a tricky one because a lot of people say, well, if you see price going up, then obviously that means it's going higher. But we're trying to figure out what that impulse looks like. And you have this kind of Bitcoin, Binance dynamic going on. You look at across most altcoins, they're not really moving that much. We did get a pop on XRP, but there's not really much happening across the broader cryptocurrency market. We're only seeing pockets of strength or pockets of rallies, across thousands and thousands of tokens and coins. So when it comes to Bitcoin, this is expected. When you see a move like this, it's expected, and it makes sense. People are moving money out of what they feel to be risky, banks, so on, and they're putting their money into what they feel to be safe, in this case, Bitcoin. And so far, so good. That seems to be the case. And it is stabilizing up here. 28,000 has become a pretty strong level. If we go back up to the weekly chart, and you can see if we continue, which to be honest, I think we may, depending on what the Fed says today, I think we're probably going to continue to, to drive higher on Bitcoin. Anything can happen, obviously. And I'm still not in sort of buy mode. I'm not doing anything at the moment, but really strong impulse last week. If this continues, we will see 30K, and it would make sense that we're going to see 30K. To be honest, it's a very, very strong psychological number. But to get through 30,000, we need volume. We need market participation. And to be honest, I don't think, and I've said this before, that there's enough retail money to be pushing this, and institutions aren't putting their money into Bitcoin in big numbers. So I think we do stabilize or start to slow down in this area. Now, whether we pull back, remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. But going back to Binance, I think we are going to see continued weakness on Binance. Binance is a huge exchange, and there's so much going on with Binance in terms of, regulatory compliance. The SEC is constantly, on their case. They have a lot of things to take into consideration. There's so many more things that can go wrong with Binance as opposed to Bitcoin. So some things to consider there. So be mindful that the rate announcement is coming. If you're watching this video before I do the live stream, I'm going to be live streaming, the FOMC announcement plus, the press conference. We'll kind of go through. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on what's going on with that. We'll keep a track of the markets. And with all of that said, I hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to speaking to you in the next update. All the best. Take care. Ciao for now.